if you clicked on this video, you are wanting to get clients through Instagram. So I'm going to be giving you the secret sauce. I'm going to be showing you how to build an aesthetic IG profile so you can attract your dream clients and not have to chase clients anymore. Because I've been in that position. When I first started, I didn't understand any of this. Therefore, I was doing cold outreach. I was doing other things and I just could not sign a client. The harder I worked, the less I saw success. When in reality, if I would have followed this video and the tips I'm going to share in this video, I would have seen success so much quicker. It would have been so much of an easier journey and process for me. And that's why I want to make this video, to hopefully help just one person watching this. Now, let's jump straight into the video because no one likes a long intro. So you're not broke because of your offer. It's because nobody likes, knows, and trusts you. So you can do cold outreach, you can post content, you can run ads, you can do influencer shoutouts, any client acquisition strategy. But if you don't have a strong, optimized profile, it will never work. So this is the foundation of everything, and I mean everything. And if you plan on getting clients and you plan on building a funnel through Instagram, or it's a part of your funnel, I cannot recommend for you just to sit down, take some notes for like the next 10 minutes, and this can change your life. And I believe this is one of my most valuable videos. And the stuff I'm going to share in this video, just for some social proof, has allowed me to work with millionaires. Point blank. Okay, so think about that. You're trying to work with clients who are much smaller and you can't even get like respected. So I'm going to be giving you tips on how you can become more respected, more trusted, and have a higher market authority. So when you do cold outreach, when you post content, when you run ads, it's going to work so much better, like 10 times better, 100 times better. So let's jump straight into this. Now, I'm going to break this down into 3 simple steps. The first one is going to be the core setup. Second one is going to be nurturing. And the third one is going to be how to convert and actually get clients. So the core setup, these are absolute essentials. If you don't have these, then you may as well just, not do anything on Instagram. So number one is you need a clean profile picture with your face. I'm going to speed run this because you probably know this already. And I just need to get through this before I get to the more juicy, like actual tactical parts and psychology and everything like that. But number one, you need a clean profile picture of your face. So if you don't have a clean profile picture of your face, make that your profile picture right now. Secondly, you need a name with no numbers, no weird letters, and just make it very clean and simple. So the first thing is you need a URL shortener, which can divert people who land on your Instagram to a longer form asset. And the reason we do like a URL shortener is because it just makes it more intriguing. And this is an amazing bio if you're going to be doing like content. It can work if you're doing outbound. I would make it a bit more vague if you're doing outbound, so you're not giving away too much. So that is step 3. Step 4, I want to absolutely run this, is story highlights with intro and behind the scenes. So I'm going to be explaining the exact story sequence you're going to do right here to convert and just nurture prospects with the best psychology. It's amazing. So, and then the fifth thing is going to be 3 pinned photos. So if you go for dinner, if you go to the beach, if you work out, just get nice photos of yourself looking presentable, showing what you're about and stuff like that. So those are the 5 absolute essentials. Do that right now. If you don't do this, then you're cooked, like literally. So now you want to find inspiration and creators you like, just to get ideas for what to post. So you can see, you can find your own. These are just some big people in the space. Like Luke Alexander, Luke Davis, Daniel Dallin. Everyone knows these people. But you get the point. This is just for like inspiration. But the main thing I wanted to talk about when it comes to posting clean photos for an aesthetic Instagram is the actual color grading on iPhone, like camera roll. So when you open up your camera roll, you can essentially do color grading using these exact settings. Now I've had to do research to find this, but this will turn a very like average looking photo that you take with an iPhone or whatever into a just much better, cleaner aesthetic, kind of gradient. And this is 100% what I'd be doing for all of my photos if I was starting again. So yeah, you can pause the video, take a screenshot of this. But yeah, exposure to -35, brilliance to -19, highlights to -40, shadows, contrast, vibrance. And if you go into the photos part of your camera roll, you can just like click on edit and just use these at your own will. But this will just make your page pop a lot more. Now it will make it look a lot more professional, basically, like you took it with better like a better camera or whatever. So next is on your profile when you do post, and I'm going to be talking about reels and stuff like that in a second, but this is just for like the setup of just making your first few posts. Obviously you would have gone through the 5 steps right here. The biggest advantage you have is to be yourself. If you want to stand out, which is what you ultimately should be doing, is to share what you enjoy doing. So if you enjoy like fitness, if you enjoy going for hikes, nature, reading, like make that a part of your profile because that's going to separate you from the competition. That is very important. So don't be afraid to include your hobbies, because when a prospect lands on your page and they have a similar hobby like reading or running or whatever it may be, that allows for a deeper connection. And if anyone's going to give you money, as I said at the start, it's because they will like, know, and trust you. Think about an investor. If an investor is investing in a company, they are investing in the entrepreneur first, then the product second. The reason being is it's much harder to change an entrepreneur than it is the actual like product. So yeah, you want to share what you're about. Share your, I don't know, runs. Share your whatever you like doing besides business. It's so important. And this is step one. So congratulations, you've made it to step one or the end of step one. Now let's jump on to step two, which is a lot more valuable. So now when it comes to nurturing, someone has hopefully landed on your page. You've got the basic stuff set up like this, good to go. Now let's talk about the 6-step trust sequence for the first story highlight. So as I mentioned right here, you want to have a story highlight that basically tells people your story and introduce an opportunity. Everything in life is an opportunity. So think about college or university. The reason that's done so well is because people finish school and they introduce the opportunity of university. Then they introduce the opportunity of getting a job. And if you can follow the same thing and follow this, it's going to work wonders. So the first story you're going to post in your story sequence right here is going to be a I mean, you can see it right here. It's going to share a win and just share who you are. So I had this as an example, and I'll show you how to make these clean ones in a second using Canva. But you could say something like, at 18, I never thought it would be possible to travel the world, to hit my goals, and do whatever I want, whenever and wherever, right? That's just me, providing a bit of social proof, inspiration, things like that. So you can follow this. You can get ChatGPT to write you your own one. And yeah, it's as simple as that. You could just say something like, my name's Charlie, and I have a passion for business and helping others and making an impact, whatever it may be. Just make it similar to this, sharing a win and who you are. Now, the second one is going to be curiosity plus intrigue. So right here, you can see I said, but the truth is that I could have seen success 10 times quicker. So this is great because it allows people to see where I'm at and see that I've achieved success. But then secondly, I'm giving them a vehicle, an opportunity. And this is building curiosity because I'm saying I could have achieved this so much quicker and I would have skipped the content grind and manual client acquisition strategies, but instead used this. And it's going to get them to click onto the next story sequence, which is basically behind the scenes and your mission with your vehicle to help them get a desired result. So you can see how this flows, right? It's got a bit of credibility, it's got building curiosity, and then it's got kind of the behind the scenes. So I spent $10,000 building a software that can scrape the highest quality business owners, giving you a crazy unfair advantage to finally make appointment setting easy. So that is the goal. That is the end result offer. So you want to follow this for whatever offer it is. You could be selling AI, implementation. You could be selling consulting. It doesn't really matter. Like it's all kind of the same thing. You just need to follow this psychology kind of 6-step framework. Now for the, I think, fourth one, it's going to be social proof. So yeah, ready for the most insane part. We're asking a question. Within 48 hours of launching, one user already signed a client of $4,000 per month, and we had a bit of social proof right here. And bear in mind there is subconscious cognitive biases going on in here, like social proof. Because I've traveled to a lot of places like Greece, Rome. This is in Dubai. This is in Norway. This is Dubai. Like you get the point. So in the background, it's just like that's subconscious, I guess. But yeah, let's move to the next one. So that's social proof, which you can see. Now you're going to add value. So I'm basically saying I could have achieved it so much quicker if I'd have used this software that got this person this result. And if you combine this, so I'm giving a bit of value, with content, so daily content to build credibility and authority, you're golden. You need nurturing assets to build trust in your funnel. You cannot send messages and expect a stranger to buy. And once again, I've had a bit of social proof right here, but you could do something else. If you've built an automation, you could just show the automation right there, or whatever it may be. And then finally, we have the scarcity, urgency, and the call to action. So please do not wait any longer. It will never feel like the right time, but the water doesn't get warmer the longer you wait. In fact, it becomes harder to start. If you're ready to take action, I'm going to give you a free trial, DM me leads, right? That's very simple. So when someone lands on my page, they most likely click on my story because I post stories daily. That's great. But then they most likely go here, they look at my page, and that's how you can convert anyone, whether you're doing outbound, whether you're doing content. It's so important you have this 6-step setup on your profile. So how do you actually get this like style? So basically, if I go onto Canva real quickly, because I want to show you everything, If we take this one, for example, you can see it's just a photo of me. What you want to do is go to elements, and you basically want to search for like a black gradient. So you can see right here, black gradient, and there is a free one like this one. You can basically just put it over, just like that. And it doesn't really matter which way you want it, but just drag it down. And you can see that now when we add text, so you can just add like, I don't know, this one. So just put whatever. You get the point. It makes it pop. And I recommend going for smaller, because when it's a bit smaller, people have to like pay more attention, which is the opposite. You would think surely you want big text, but no, I think smaller text is better because it makes people actually like pay close attention. They have to like, zoom in a little bit. So yeah, that's what you can do for the font. You can see here that I just used this Helvetica, whatever it's called, well, world font, in bold, but you can obviously change your fonts. I think I added a shadow quickly, so yeah, you can add a shadow for black, whatever you want, just make it pop, and that's why we had like the gradient thing. So hopefully that makes sense on how to nurture people that do land on your page. Very important you set that up. Now for posting, because you don't just want to have story sequences, you want to post daily, and you essentially want to build in public. So at the end of each day, just waffle, like absolutely just share what your opinion is on AI, or what your offer's about, or the industry. Just whoever you're trying to help, whatever your offer's about, that's how I would make content, or that's what I'd make content about. So just make branches off certain things. So for example, if you're building like AI voice callers for restaurants, you would just talk about, yeah, like the biggest concerns about restaurants or whatever it may be. And that's like just what you need to do. You need to talk about your offer, talk about, I don't know, your opinion, share value, and just build in public. But the main thing is to hide this from your profile grid. So when you go on Instagram, you don't want to be able to see any of your reels here. You mainly just want to like add it to your reels section. You can see right here. So that's very important for building an aesthetic page. So now let's jump into the final thing, which is going to be how do you actually convert people into clients. So you should understand all of this so far. You should have done those 5 things. You should have maybe added these settings to your posts when you do post. You should have built a story sequence with these 6 things just to optimize conversions and nurturing and trust. You should understand to post daily, build in public, and hide reels from your main kind of grid. Now, when it comes to conversions, I'm going to show you a secret strategy on how you can get like a shit ton of story views. This is very, very important. And this is like insane, because imagine doing like 1,000 messages or 1,000 cold calls or 1,000 SMS, whereas I can just post one story and reach 1,000 ICPs with one click. That is why you need to be doing this. It's leveraged. It's like the best long-term play you can possibly do. Is to just build your assets in terms of like an Instagram profile, build your email newsletter, build your YouTube, just build assets, things that compound over time. Very important. Like don't be a fool. Like you actually need to follow this advice. So when it comes to getting more story views, one thing you really need to do is delete any stories in the past 24 hours. So you can see here that if you're going to be launching an offer, you can build up hype like this if you want. You can read these in your own time, maybe do a counter, whatever. But one thing that's so important is to delete stories in the prior 24 hours. Because if you have like, let's say a story before this, it's not going to push it as hard. So by not posting a story before, the algorithm will push it harder. So what you can do is, if you know you're going to be doing a CTA on Friday, for example, you can essentially not post any stories on Thursday. So then when you post a Instagram story on Friday with your CTA, that could basically just say something like, I don't know, fitness coaches, or let's say you are a fitness coach, you could say something like men in their 40s who are busy looking to, I don't know, gain muscle, DM me the word summer, whatever it may be, is your CTA. Just don't post a story before that, basically. That's very important, and that's how you can get a lot more views. And when it comes to like bottom funnel content, so if you aren't familiar, top of funnel content is how people find you in the first place. So if we think about just how a stranger finds me, my top of funnel is like YouTube. For example, this video gets put onto the homepage of YouTube. Maybe it's SEO, so people search for like how to build a Instagram profile in 2026. They find me. That's my top of funnel. That's how a stranger finds me. But if you're going to be running like an Instagram funnel, for example, maybe you message someone who is your ICP, then they click on your page, and that's like your top of funnel. That's how a stranger finds you. For the middle of the funnel, that's how people like, know, and trust you. So that's what you need to do with your stories. That's what you need to do in your posts. That's what you need to do in your building in public, showing you're working hard. and just these characteristic traits are very important when it comes to a client investing in you. And then when it comes to bottom of the funnel, how you convert people, as I said, you can do these stories to convert people. I would do it bi-daily, so once every 2 days if I was you. That's what I'm trying to do right now. But you can also do bottom of funnel content, and this is very important. And this content won't get that many views. Like this one got 6,000 views, which is like okay. Like I'm sure there's people watching this who are like way better at like Instagram, but this is like high converting content because I'm getting comments. So yeah, a lot of comments here. So just add a comment CTA. I should add some more metadata in here, so be explaining what it is in the bio more. But I'm gonna make a video on that once I've gotten to like 50,000 followers on Instagram, because right now I'm at like 11,000 in the B2B space. So bear in mind, like these followers are a lot more like valuable than getting 100,000 like consumers. Like these are all business owners, so that's like a lot of an important takeaway. But when it comes to bottom of the funnel content, just make a video about what your offer is and have a comment CTA. But one thing that's really important is the power of demonstration. You don't want to tell people what your offer is, you want to show them. And if you read this book called Contagious by Jonah Berger, hopefully that's how you pronounce his name, he has an amazing saying called, if it's built to show, it's built to grow. So if you have an AI automation, if you have a system, if you are selling consulting, please do what I'm doing right now, which is demonstrating. I'm visually showing you, because you don't just want to talk. You can have a great hook if you're talking, but you also want a visual hook, which is like something they can be watching whilst you're talking, so you can get most, retention from it. That's as simple as it gets, but hopefully that's just a quick tip. And you can rotate between content formats. So for example, like Monday, you could post one of these like head talking, just you sharing what you're doing. Maybe Tuesday you could do a bottom of the funnel post. So this is middle of the funnel to get people to like, know, and trust you. This is to get people to convert. And then you could have maybe a top of funnel style of content that's short form, maybe like memes or something like that, perform really well. So yeah, just some bonus insights very quickly, very important. You can follow 100 people in your niche, so 100 ICPs, ideal client profiles, and 5 to 10% will follow you back over time. So that allows you to build a following, and then in the future you'll be able to run stories like this to get a ton of views and a ton of conversions, inbound DMs, things like that. So that's just a nifty trick. You can follow more people than you can DM actually. So I think you can DM like 60 per day on IG, but you can actually follow a lot more. So that's a quick tip. You want to be doing that. Bonus insights. You can post daily and follow the rule of 100. So 100 minutes of content creation. And if you do that every day, this will change your life within 100 days. That's what Hormozi says at least, and I believe it to be true. And then finally, you want to comment, like, and just do daily stories. So comment on other people's posts in your niche, like their post, build reciprocity, and then this just helps people land on your page. And then a final tip is, if you can, do live streams like once a week. I said daily here, like that's a bit too much, but live streams are so good for converting bottom of the funnel. I promise you. So yeah, well done making it to the end of the video. Hopefully you found this valuable. Yeah, bear in mind the value I've given you is useless though. If you just like watch videos, what you need is to change your behavior. So you need to take action on this, because information without execution is like pointless. So go implement this now. If you need help building your offer, I'll leave a link in the description. Same with like, you just want to speak with me, you want me to scale your business, pretty much, I'll do a lot of things for you. You can join the community, or check out my SaaS. Like that's what I promote mainly nowadays, but I do have the ability for people to work one-on-one with me, as well as check out my software, description stuff, like the video, comment, all of that good jazz if you found it helpful. So I'll catch you in the next video. Take it easy and have a wonderful day.